and welcome to the A.D.H.Deep-Dive, the show that's not about ADHD, but is filled with proof it exists. My name is David J. Mund. I am joined this week by the two biggest bullies I know, George Despotis and Patrick Louie. First of all, hello.
Yo.
I was telling Emma before we got started, as I was like setting up my lights, I was like, my heart is racing right now. And I was like, she's like, why? What's going on? I was like, I just get so nervous when I talk with these guys in a public forum because I feel like I'm on the defensive for an hour and a half.
We were. I mean, granted, we were pretty well behaved last time, weren't we?
That's what I said.
I mean, I'm not saying we're innocent.
Sure. Yeah. Better. Not innocent, certainly. I do just get a little bit... Listen, okay, I have it as a note here that the best of friendships, right, start... the best of friendships, like, have a cool origin story. And you guys were on... Collectively, I think this is George's third or fourth. Patrick, I think this is your second episode. Right? Have you only done it?
I think so.
Because we did one episode that never aired. One episode never aired.
So 3 if you count that one, but second...
I don't.
To actually make...
Okay. You don't say.
You guys were my first 2 episodes. George was my first, Patrick was my second. Because obviously we've been good friends now for a long while. And I think in the last episode we discussed a little bit of the origin of our friendship. But because it didn't air, let me just quickly recap. Once upon a time, I made a call out on Facebook when I had the PlayStation 3. And I said, hey, does anybody play Grand Theft Auto Online? And someone I knew who had moved to New York said, I don't, but I know somebody who does, introduced me to George. And so George and I start playing Grand Theft Auto together online. I'm living in Michigan. He's living in New York. And then one day he says, hey, I'm going to invite my buddy Pat into the chat. Lo and behold, Patrick arrives. Mm-hmm. And then our little group packed lunch forms. Packed lunch is for another discussion. We talked a little bit about it in the episode that never aired, but for what it's worth, we've got shirts now. Usually cool clubs have jackets, and now we have custom packed lunch shirts, which is currently.
I should have worn my shirt today.
I thought about it too. Mine's dirty in the laundry right now. I could get it out before the end of the episode. Anyways, could you guys just remind me, and I guess on the air, how you guys met?
Babel Screen Park.
Babel Screen Park.
We were both scare actors.
Yeah. We spoke our actual first words to each other. I think I said the thing that that no one should ever say to you. I called you. I said you look like Claudio Sanchez.
Especially at the time, I got it a lot.
Is that
Is
that the guy from Coheed and Cambria?
Yeah,
it is.
Okay.
Before that, it was just like he would pass through my room because he was the last room in the house, and I was like two rooms before you.
Yeah. Greenhouse.
And we would just nod our heads to each other.
That was the first interaction I remember. Is I walked through, and it was you wore the ghillie suit at the time, and you only had the ghillie suit pants on, and we were about to start, and I just walked through, and you gave me like a, and I was like,
"What's up, dude?"
First ever interaction.
Yeah, that was 16 years ago.
God damn.
That's nuts because I'm trying to think about when George and I met, and I think that was 2014. So you guys had only known each other a few years before I met the two of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think we only became close friends, I think, after Babel Screen Park was over.
Can you explain kind of what that is a little bit?
Closer to like, I think 2 years after we had actually met, we started to actually hang out outside of work.
Yep.
Because you were both into like the sort of haunt scare actor thing for a while. I think I've talked about that a little bit with like some of the immersive experiences that Emma and I have done, but I guess for the limited audience, could you explain a little bit about what that even was, that gig?
We just got paid to dress up as a scary character, hide in a room, and jump out and scream at people.
I mean, that's the general gist of it, yeah. Babel Screen Park was the first one, and then we both moved to Chamber of Horrors, which is now closed.
Which I only worked at for like a season and a day.
Well, that's when you broke your leg.
Yeah.
Wait,
your ankle, not your leg.
You broke
I broke my
Ankle
ankle. I worked there for like a weekend and then broke an ankle and then I missed out on the whole season. And then it moved to it was the year they did the hayride, which I did the whole season.
Right. Yeah. And then you
But that was
missed out.
before. That was no, yeah, that was
You
before I broke my ankle. The hayride was before that, right? Old Bethpage.
you
And then it moved to
no
Sayville.
no. Did you break your ankle when we were in Sayville?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
yeah. Because I remember building a hallway specifically for you.
How did this
And
injury
then
come to be?
away.
You don't want to talk about it publicly?
No, I can. I was riding a longboard at a very unimpressive speed, and I ran over a cluster of pine cones, and I broke and dislocated my left ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awful.
And I think not too much longer after that, a friend of ours broke her leg falling down the stairs.
Yep.
And were they
Yep.
also involved in this haunt?
Yeah. That's how we all met.
So you had to
Back in the day,
handicap a particular portion of the build there to accommodate for George's injury. Is that right? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
did anyone take my spot after I?
it ended up
was
being
up
an empty.
again?
It ended up being an empty hallway. From what I remember, we had at some point like midway through the haunt, you got in an elevator, like an elevator. You got out, you entered this little waiting area, and then from there you went into like the children's room, and then from the children's room you entered this really long, narrow hallway with a strobe light, and the floor and walls and ceiling were just covered in blood. And the whole idea was that George was going to basically fill this hallway. It would be at one end, and then when people entered that hallway, he would just come barreling down the hallway, like slamming his fists against the wall.
Sick.
And then scare them backwards into the previous room. And then when they went back in, George would be gone.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah. But
It
then
was so beautiful. I
broke
worked
his
for
ankle.
a single weekend and I broke my ankle.
Yeah.
And that's not something that you could have done, like just like standing at the end of the hallway, like still.
I was on crutches for 3 months, so it
would have turned into a giant monster chasing you through the hallway to a guy hobbling on crutches.
I just imagine a big
yeah. Exactly what would happen.
When was the last time that either of you were like involved in the like scare acting scene? Because it's been a while.
Specifically, or just the haunt industry?
Well, I guess I thought that they were one and the same for you guys specifically.
Well, because you could be involved and then just not be acting. You could be a builder. You could write scripts.
Okay.
You could
well,
work in props and costumes and stuff like that.
Well, then I guess let's go with acting for starters.
Me was probably 2016.
Oh, really?
Something like
I
that.
think about the same for me.
Yeah. I mean, my boss might be completely oblivious to it, but I had a nasty falling out with my previous haunt acting gig. And then after that, I was intending to take a break, and then I moved on to a different location to just do props and costumes and set pieces for a different show.
Mm-hmm. And George, you said it's the same event that you were at?
Not the same event, just about the same timeline. I got some jobs at these like zombie laser tag places.
Oh, we did NYZ.
Right.
Yeah, we did NYZ Apocalypse together, and then after that, I found one out on Long Island City. So I did that for a bit, and then the only time I ever haunted again was sporadically. I think there was one night that Pat brought me in on one he was working on. I got to play a deranged dentist, which was fun.
Oh shit!
That's the show I moved on to after Chambers.
When I moved out there to New York, did you guys end up coming to the experience that I did as an actor? I can't remember if you did or not.
No, sadly not.
Do you remember?
I think we missed out.
Do you remember what that was?
It wasn't an escape room, right?
I don't.
No, it was. I mean, I did work at an escape room. I did come to work at an escape room, but I did what was considered. I don't know. I have a much less expansive like history with this kind of thing or involvement with this kind of thing. So I don't know that it's called a haunt, but it was supposed to be an immersive experience called the L Train Shutdown Nightmare. It was during that period of time where the L Train was shut down for like a year or whatever. Do you remember this?
What was your role?
So
I
basically,
don't. I remember that the L train was shut down for a year, and it was a nightmare as far as I understand it.
yeah, I'm gonna spoil the end of it a little bit in that within its
Well,
first.
it's not like we can see the show anymore.
Well, I just mean the end of the story is that it was supposed to run for a month and it got shut down after day 2. So the L train shutdown nightmare was shut down on day 2 of its run. Because
I do remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, it was like my first gig out there. That I can, because basically the plan was I'm gonna go out to New York and be an actor. So I was like, taking, I was on backstage. I was getting like these little random acting parts. In like it wasn't a commercial, but it was like a YouTube advertisement, and then like some weird zombie shoot that ended up being a weird commentary on the Second Amendment that I wasn't ready for. That's a whole other story, which might be worth getting into. Anyways, but when I got out there, it was like right around the time that like the L train was shut down, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is the train that pretty much takes you from Queens directly to Manhattan. Is that right?
L train runs through Brooklyn mainly.
Oh, so okay, that makes more sense.
It goes through some pieces of Queens, yeah.
That makes sense.
Some bits of Queens, but it's like bordering.
So it must have been
like Ridgewood's technically Queens.
Yeah.
Goes through Ridgewood.
It must have been some sort of like flooding or something like that. Anyway, the L train was shut down for a good period of time, and it was like weeks within me getting out there. This guy basically got a cast of like 10 to 15 people, and he got this like big warehouse, and you walk through the front door, which is made out to be the front cart of the L train. So it's as if the L train slammed into this warehouse that led into a busted down subway. And then throughout the experience, you run into like rodent people and like literal like rodent human hybrids, and people like gathered around a fire, and then there's like a bunch of people in hazmat suits, and then you are like meant to be run out of the experience by a dude in a big hazmat suit, and I was the dude in the big hazmat suit. It was meant to be like creepy, but the warehouse was so big that it wasn't like you were like, because the reason that this came to mind is because George was talking about this like tight hallway that he was supposed to like run through and like bang down. This thing is huge, so you're not like missing anything coming around any dark corners. You can run away from things, and you get sent in groups of 30 to 40.
That's too many. That's way too many.
Way too many. So then by the time you get to me, and I'm like, get out in the dark, people are like, shut up. People are just.
But that's like the biggest like thing you're not supposed to do in shows like that. Not aside from the large group, but to yell "get out." I know it's part of the show technically.
That was supposed to be the end. I'm right by the end.
Yeah, right. But it's like in all the shows I've worked in.
Are you blaming this on me?
No, I'm not blaming it on you. I'm blaming it on the people.
Shut down,
do you see what I mean?
David.
These guys are the biggest fucking bullies I've ever met in my life.
I'm blaming it on the people who wrote the show that you were in.
You worked there for 2 days and they shut it down. I can't believe you.
Yeah, that's like the don't yell, get out, or don't do the creepy head tilt that people
I hate
always
the
seem
head
to
tilt.
think is like the. Is that what you did?
No. You couldn't see me. It was too dark. I have a picture of it that maybe I'll put up in post if I can remember.
Like the show I did after Chambers, we had similar sized groups, but the show to me was like truly an immersive show. We sent in groups of like 20-ish people, but they were the second they went in, they were immediately broken down into like groups of 4 or 5.
Yeah, that's great.
And then it was timed so that by the very end, everyone's gotten to see the bulk of the show, and then everyone got back together for the finale.
Yeah, that's a good way to do things.
Right.
Yeah, it was not that. And it got like such terrible reviews, and the person who was like bankrolling this thing heard about it and like apparently went through in one of the groups and was like, this is such dog shit, I am pulling the money. And there was this whole thing where this guy wasn't paying the actors because he didn't have the money. Because he was like, you will get paid at the end of this. So I'm a month into being in New York and I haven't been paid for an acting gig yet. And I'm like, what have I done here? Like, what? On top of whatever depression and anxiety issues I had going in there, I'm like, oh, I've made a horrible mistake.
That sounds like a rough time.
Yeah. So I'm glad that you guys never went in, because you would have been like, shut up.
I'm kind of sad that I didn't go through.
Well, here's the thing. Something that I'm sure that you can appreciate especially is that like the like way everything was built, like this, I call it set design, I guess, but like it looked cool to an unexperienced, like I've never done anything like that. I mean, you guys know I used to be the easiest person in the world to scare in general. Like the weakest stuff would frighten me. And I don't know, I thought that looked really cool.
I wish
I'm sure
I wish
it looked
I pictures
cool.
so I could see the set.
Yeah, well,
I mean, how you said it's like a wide open space? Like there was just like 30 to 40 customers, a couple of few scare actors, and a wide open set.
yeah, basically you like walk in for maybe, I don't know, 50 yards. It's meant to look like you're in the like in the subway, the underground system. And then there's like a staircase, but it's like a big open staircase that you then walk up to the next floor on. And then like throughout that, it's like 50 yards the other way. It was literally just in this giant warehouse building, but there were no like external walls built to like tighten things up. It's just, you're just in this open space. And then, yeah, once you get up the stairs, you walk back the other way, and then you just walk out the exit.
Seems severely ill-conceived.
It was.
Yeah.
And that was my
that leaves too much freedom to the customers in a show like that.
Correct.
To just wander.
Correct.
Especially if there's no payoff for that.
Yeah, and it's weird too, like when you're meant to be, I don't know, scaring someone, or at the very least intimidating someone, or even just directing traffic. When you're in this big hazmat suit in front of this like giant collection, or this giant gust of smoke from the fog machine or whatever, and you're trying to stand there and you're getting all like lit up by creepy lights, and then somebody just walks up to you and is like, what are you gonna do? Like I've lost my ability to like do anything. There's no like, because I'm the last person to be like, go this way. I'm supposed to be just directing traffic. So I'm sure at eventually I was like, just go this way, dude.
Granted, we really probably shouldn't have been doing this at my old haunted house, but I ran into instances like that at my old haunt where I would carry around a steel pipe, like a real steel pipe. I had a friend who was carrying around a real heavy wooden mallet, and I had another friend who was carrying around a blunt
a blunt
axe. But no, a blunt. Yeah, no, he was just toking up the whole time. No, it was like a dulled down axe, but it was a real axe. And we would encounter people all the time. Like we would confront them to try and scare them. And I'd be like, "Oh, what are you gonna do with that? That's just a prop." And then all you'd have to do is just like loosen up the grip and let it hit the floor.
Ooh, nice.
And they'd hear that metal ping and be like, "Oh shit!" Like
nice.
that's real. Like sometimes that alone would get a reaction out of people.
There's definitely some fear there that I don't think. I mean, obviously, you've already said that you probably shouldn't have done that. In that instance, if somebody's like drunk or just trying to fuck around, they could have picked that up when you drop it too and been like,
well, when I say drop, I don't mean like just let it hit the floor, like
sure.
let it slide through my grip and then like the handle hits the floor. I'm
see.
Still holding it.
I see. Okay. Is that something that either of you like want to do again, or is that something that you're like, that was it? That was a younger you.
Part of me misses it every time I go to a haunted house, and some actors are good, and other times when I see who just aren't trying, or like you'll go into a room and they don't get a scare and they just give up completely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I want to trade places with you and like have fun with this.
Let me show you how it's done, you youngster.
Yeah. Like there's guys that like will scare someone and they're clearly getting a reaction, and then as soon as they get just the one reaction, they just stop.
Amateur.
And then reset. Yeah. Which I guess you're technically supposed to do, but it's like, how do you, like, these guys are paying something, especially nowadays, a lot of money for these shows.
Yeah.
Like, you got to give it like a little extra oomph, put some energy into it. There's a lot of people who just don't care as much. I miss it sometimes for that, but other times I'm like, that was a younger me who could run around for hours and hours and
Sure.
live off of Red Bull or Monster and cigarettes,
Sure.
and then repeat the process the next day. I can't do that anymore.
What about you, George?
We came close to going back for like a weekend that during that time when I was
Oh, at
when I
Bayville?
had to move back. Yeah, when my place flooded, I had to move back home to Long Island
Oh,
while
right.
we fixed
I
it, and it was around Halloween time. And me and Pat were like, should we go back for like a week?
yeah,
Like
because
we,
I don't
you know,
I don't care what my reputation with them is. So like if we went in for a weekend and it just really sucked, I'd have no
yeah, we
problem
just
just like
fucking
fucking
bail.
failing and no showing after that.
And your
Um,
apartment flooded in 2020, right?
yeah,
S-
2021 technically, I think.
Okay. So
Yeah,
this was still like, things are finally opening back up. I could get involved in this type of experience.
yeah.
Well, Bayville
I
are oh go ahead.
now the urge does come back to me around, especially around October, like late September, early October.
Yeah.
I do get the urge, but the motivation always dissipates as soon as I realize how much free time I have in October because I don't have a haunt job.
So
There's
that
also every haunt comes with like a just so much drama between actors, and other haunted houses are always like at each other's throats. Like there's no camaraderie outside of your own haunted house.
why is that, do you think?
I have no idea. The haunts on Long Island tried to put together this thing where in October haunted houses would take turns hosting the other haunts on the island. Like you get to come bring your cast to our show, go through, and at the end we'll all hang out and have like a little cookout.
That's dope.
I think we did like one or two before things fell apart again, and now it's like we'd be at like conventions and stuff like that. Each haunt representing their own show, and like there'd be people like, I don't want to be at a table next to them. You've got to move me across the room somewhere else, or like shit like that. But there's no real reason
That's so
for it.
wild.
Right, because
I
it's
don't know if
not
it's
like you need to go to mine and not go to theirs. Because if somebody's going to one, they're likely going to others, and once you've already done
yeah,
one, you're not going to do it again.
like why not just team up and promote each other, and it would be a lot better that way. It's just I don't ever see that being a thing.
Yeah. Are there any other like
Whack.
hobbies in your life that like you wish you could get back into, but for whatever lack of time, lack of resources, lack of motivation at this point, that like you just can't pursue anymore?
All the things I like to do, at least artistically, I there's no reason why I couldn't do any of them.
Well, not so much couldn't, but just find yourself being like, man, I really haven't done that in a while, even though I would have. I did have a lot of fun when I did it.
I don't know. Honestly, haunting might be the thing.
Yeah.
Getting scaring people for fun has always been a blast, whatnot. There's no reason why I couldn't get back into it. But the other thing too is like I'll never have the same freedom I had
Sure.
at my old haunted house. It was a very special, time in my life and whatnot. To have that kind of same confidence from my bosses, I think, I don't want to say once in a lifetime, but it's extremely, extremely rare.
Sure. George, anything?
Nothing really comes to mind. If I realize that I haven't done something in a while, I usually try to do it again, like shortly thereafter.
I
So
guess
there's not a lot of things that kind of have fallen by the wayside. I think maybe the one thing is probably some kind of musical instrument, but the motivation's not as strong there. I used to like take guitar lessons when I was way young. I still have a guitar, but
you did.
I was awful. I was never good. And that was like a pandemic, like a pandemic dream of mine was like, oh, I'm gonna whip out the old guitar and finally learn, and then I just didn't. I played video games instead.
See right there, that one's mine. Video games. I miss it.
Yeah.
Every second of every day. I miss playing with you guys so much. Like whatever for. I've talked about a lot of the whys on this podcast before, but when I was at the peak of my gaming was also like some of the darkest days of my life. And so it was very much escapism for me. look, I've got a bunch of things and responsibilities and stuff that I want to escape now, but I feel a lot guiltier now when I play video games. And I've said multiple times on this podcast that like gaming is not inherently like a problem. It was just a problem for me that like I was shirking so many responsibilities and so many relationships and so many like things that I like didn't want to focus on, that it was just video games were the thing. And now I find myself now being like, man, oh God, I miss playing with those guys. Like I went back through and watched a bunch of like our old YouTube videos from our old channel where we would just upload clips, or like I went through and like watched a live stream that we posted one day. And like for most of that live stream, nothing is happening. Nothing. But I very fondly remember that being like, man, those were the days.
When you say nothing's happening, is it just us being like, where are you?
Pretty much.
Is your lobby full?
Pretty much, but it's my perspective. It's not like
or it's like
forth.
I was like, oh, I gotta record that.
Exactly. Yeah. Maybe I'll link that channel in the description just so people can go back and see clips. But
I mean, George knows, but like my gaming has like drastically dropped off.
Yeah.
I don't know. In recent years, I've just found it really difficult to find the energy or motivation, like especially after a long day at work, to hop on. Like I gaming is relaxing, but sometimes when I do find the motivation to be, fire up the PlayStation, like I either want to just zone out on my own, or I just don't want to do it.
It's
and
the
it has nothing
social
to do with
side
the people.
that's a little draining.
It has nothing to do with the people that are I'm gaming with. It's just
That hates
it's
me.
all.
I was like, I fucking hate you guys. That's why I don't play.
No, man, I love you. It's also a part. I'm just finding it a hard time finding games that I'm deeply interested in.
Sure.
A lot of games are, in a lot of cases, like cookie cutter. Just a lot of the same game over and over and over. There's just not a lot of interest in it.
Well, and for years it was just.
I'm like waiting for GTA 6. I know everyone is, but like that's the one where I'm like I know we're all gonna be in.
Yeah.
On that one.
See, I think my official,
almost all of us.
Yeah.
Except for one person.
Yeah. The nail in the coffin for me was very much the PS5. I was like, I can't justify the purchase initially. Like I almost wasn't. I was behind you guys on the PS4. Like I got it as a gift from my ex one day for Christmas, and I was able to join you guys. But I was like, what were you gonna say, Pat? Sorry.
What if someone gifted you one? Would you get back on?
Possibly, but then there's also the like. Then there's the added expense of like the PlayStation Plus or whatever. Or what is it? PlayStation Now or whatever the monthly subscription is that you have to like play with people. I kind of just miss the days of being able to like not. I think there was always some sort of PlayStation Online fee, but like if
not the PS3.
Is that true? Okay, right. Yeah.
That's where we started,
right? And I think that's where
we started. Yeah,
those were kind of the glory days for me in my mind. It's like before we like. I mean, I think a lot of this stuff is recorded on the PS4. Don't get me wrong, but it was like, even when I was like playing those games with you guys, there was also like this thing in the back of my mind about like, I'm going to justify this gaming because we're going to make clips out of it. Not because we're going to make memories, but because we're going to make clips and we're going to post it. And those clips are going to go viral. And we're going to be one of those gaming channels where the friends get together and we make a gaming channel, which is why the only time I play video games now is when I'm playing my Let's Play of Don't Starve and I post the Let's Play. Like, the only time I play video games is when I'm making content out of it, because I try to backwards justify the playing of the video games by being like, well, this furthers my career, rather than getting back to what it was initially. And it's just like, I just want to have fun with my friends, man. I miss that.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're thought of every time we hop into GTA, especially when like the entire crew minus Buster is present.
Who can we bully? Oh man, he's not here.
Oh, trust me, there's plenty of people. That's not the issue.
Sure.
It's that the gang is not truly back together because understandable reasons, but it's not doesn't make any less sad in the moment.
If money or time or whatever, if there was no need to justify it, no reason. like that you would have to explain it away? What is like some sort of hobby that you've always like wanted to get into that you haven't really been able to do because of time or because of or finances or whatever? If there is anything, if there
I've
exists anything.
always wanted a dark room in my space.
Oh, for photography?
Yeah, always. But that's just a big, like, it's big expensive upfront just to get all the equipment. I'm sure I could find um secondhand equipment, but then it's like the chemicals and probably ventilation.
Sure.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Also, film is like expensive.
Very. Even just printing, like I got a little film reel for like a point and shoot camera. It's like the film itself isn't that expensive, but like going and developing film, like a roll of film, it's like $30-$40 a reel. Like it's kind of expensive.
So much of what I loved about it was the whole developing process.
Yeah.
So
have you ever done
that
darkroom
probably
stuff?
Yeah. In high school and college.
Oh, I've never been on that side of the process.
It's so fun. I love it so much. It's not something that you can't figure out how to do digitally or anything like that, but it's something about the analog process that's so great.
Sure.
You're really just shining light through negatives and messing with light sensitive paper. It's all so good. It's so fun.
Sure.
Big fan.
Pat?
Welding or metalwork.
Oh, snap.
I'd like to focus. Yeah. I'd love to focus on that at some point. More than I have in recent years. I'm not great at it. You showed my welds to like an actual welder. Like that is fucking dog shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just fun. Something about something for some reason, especially with metal, like transforming like just a sheet of metal into something cool, is very gratifying. But it's exhausting and time intensive.
It's funny you talk about good welders being like a little judgmental about it. I have a handful of friends who are welders, like for their full-time job, and like so much of their personal social media feed is like posting images of like bad welds that like to the average Joe, it's like I don't understand what I'm looking at here, but they're like, can you believe the like cross welding on this thing is like, this looks like trash. I don't
there's like, I guess to an experienced welder you can tell like did the weld penetrate the bits of metal? Is it clean? Does it just look aesthetically pleasing? Is it porous? Did they really clean it? Like shit like that. Like
sure,
real welders will pick up on that stuff like immediately.
Sure.
I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it like for just artistic purposes. So I guess it's less important.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a punk house, it's a punk home. You can find this banner and others like it, as well as this silly goose on the loose hat, these etched mirrors, these custom charm bracelets, and so much more by heading to Cat and Crew, that's KATANDCREW.com, and entering the promo code Monday, that's MUNDAY, for 10% off your first purchase. Katie and Andrew, one of the first supporters of this show, have made a 10% discount available for ADH.Deep-Dive listeners. See store for details, of course, but they've got so many cool punk home products, decor. You don't have to be a punk. That's okay. That's all right. Tattoos for your home, koozies, wall banners, a hot sauce. Oh my God, keep your eyes peeled for that. So again, if you want this is not a punk house, this is a punk home banner. If you want this silly goose on a loose hat, if you want etched mirrors, if you want custom charm bracelets, so much more, go to Cat and Crew, KATANDCREW.com, enter the promo code Monday, that's MUNDAY, for 10% off your first purchase. Thank you very much to Katie and Andrew for sponsoring the show. Let's get back to the podcast. The last time you were on, Patrick, which was now, this will be episode 90. You were episode 2. So I've missed some weeks. I've gone a few gaps of like 2 or 3 weeks at a time, not doing an episode, but it was at the very least 90 or 89 weeks ago. So let's say close to 100 weeks ago, whatever the timeline is on that. You were on a long time ago. I've been doing this podcast a long fucking time, which is cool. It's cool to think about that. I'm getting that close to episode 100. But anyways, the last time that you were on the podcast, you were doing those that miniature thing for that contest.
Still doing it.
You're still doing miniatures.
Yeah. In fact, just recently, a couple of friends at work and myself, we got dip our toes into trying to sell stuff.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. We got a table at a flea market in Deer Park to try and sell stuff in like I think mid-October.
And I assume you all just collectively pitched in for the cost of like to get into it, and
it's a first year flea market, so the tables were super cheap. Sick. I think we only are paying like $60 total for the table, and it's like a 10x10 booth.
Sick.
But I'm bringing miniatures. I have a friend who's bringing shadow boxes, and I have another friend who's bringing also miniatures, but they're like scenes from movies or something like that, like built into it with like little lights and stuff like that.
You and I talked on the phone recently about what is that tour that
Oddities Flea Market?
The Oddities Expo. Yeah. Is that something that you would like to do in the future?
I think so. I would like to. I think that's definitely the crowd who would be into it.
Yeah.
I have to see if I can build these miniatures at a fast enough pace where I can charge an affordable price for it. Because the whole idea is that these miniatures are like tiny little things that someone could just buy, carry with them, and then pop on a shelf somewhere.
But you're not looking to do like custom on the spot stuff. You're like,
well, I'd be open to like if let's say I got a table at the Oddities Flea Market, I might put up a list on the table, cut off at like 10 signups, and each of those people would be like a custom order. Like I'd love if someone was like, I'd love a hallway from like a specific abandoned building or something like that, or like I'd love to see this or that in a miniature. I would do that and cap it off at a certain amount so I don't overextend myself. What happened to my picture?
Yeah, Patrick has gone missing. What the fuck?
Goodbye.
I'm still here.
He's stuck in the void.
Am I still audible, or is my?
I can't hear you. You're just in the bad place.
What the hell happened?
Well, it's George's turn now. Oh, there he is.
Wait. I don't know what happened. Randomly, the camera just shut off.
That was so funny.
I had enough.
Because it just cut to George going.
That was weird. Maybe it's time. The podcast is telling us time to go.
Like, that's enough. You stop talking now.
Yeah. We're not interested in what you're trying to sell.
But that's cool. I mean, the fact that you're still keeping up the miniatures thing again with all that being all that time ago.
Mm-hmm.
How when's the market?
Yeah, plug it.
Oh man, let me look at my phone and see if it's in the chat.
I want to go.
You're invited.
Oh,
I'm coming anyway.
No,
I'll be there.
I don't want to go.
Yeah, you do.
So I'll be there.
Good.
Damn it. It is 18th of October.
Woo!
Sick.
Yeah.
Sick. George, you've been doing a little bit of screen printing these days. What else? You want to talk on that a little bit? Or anything else you're into?
The screen printing is kind of over right now because the class I was taking is over.
Oh, it was part of a class. Right.
Yeah, it was part of a workshop kind of thing. That was fun. Yeah, I forgot how finicky of a medium screen printing can be.
Oh yeah.
It can be very susceptible to humidity and like temperature, and I was trying to do it when it was like humid hot out, so it was a bit of a time. It was fun though. But lately it's been mainly drawing, writing, and doing a bit of painting.
There was a period of time, which obviously makes sense. This was also right after your apartment had flooded, up to like a year after, where you weren't really giving yourself a whole lot of time to draw and write. You had gone through a bit of a creative lull, which makes sense because you get into a bit of a depressive slump and you don't want to do anything creative. Like, Have you seen that kind of, at least your interest in that, like ramp back up a bit lately?
Well, the interest never really left. It
Sure.
was more of
The
the like,
priority.
capacity.
Okay.
It was a capacity thing.
Sure.
Also, when you have the place in which you are creative the most is not accessible to you, and you're forced to be creative in places that are not necessarily conducive to that. It was very difficult, but since I moved back in, it's been a hell of a lot better.
Yeah.
It's been a hell of a lot better.
You've
we also have our art days and stuff like that on occasion.
Yeah.
To help boost the creative juices.
Tell me about that a little bit.
Yeah.
No.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning into the ADH.Deep-Dive, the show that's not.
You do it, George.
Okay.
Pat's done talking.
Pat just comes over and he'll bring whatever it is he wants to work on. I usually paint. We put on some old episodes of Unsolved Mysteries and just hang out and do art stuff. That's the extent of it.
How often are you guys doing
it's
that?
Usually it's very sporadic.
So it's not like the second Tuesday of every month we're doing this. It's like, hey, you free today? Or
no, it's usually on a Saturday or Sunday. Mostly Sundays though.
Yeah, and it's mainly like, oh hey, you have done an art day. I bet that's why you free this day. Once in a while, there's we have like other buddies join in. It's been mostly just me and Pat, but sometimes we'll have a little crew. Good stuff.
George has been.
I like.
Oh, go ahead, please.
I like working. Oh no. I was just gonna say I like working with a bunch of other artists, like especially in a group setting like that. But sometimes, if there's too many people, or if there's people who come who are not like coming specifically, I'm here to work on art stuff, not just to hang out and catch up. It can be distracting.
Sure.
Sometimes I like it when it's more intimate. It's just George and I, and because like there's moments where it's just there's silence, and we're just listening to the show and working on stuff. And every once in a while, like something weird will happen on Unsolved Mysteries. We're like, did you fucking just hear that? Like that.
That is cool too, because then you don't have to. It's not pressured to be a conversational thing. It's just like Emma has said as much to me, and I feel exactly the same way, that like when we have something to get done, even if we both need to do something completely separate, it's nice to work in each other's company, because it's kind of like an accountability thing, like especially if we're both being creative.
It's called body doubling, baby.
It's called what?
Body doubling.
Body doubling?
Yeah.
You guys look nothing alike. What are you talking about?
There we do.
Says you.
Yeah. No, I guess I've never heard that phrase before.
It's just like co-working in like the same room.
Body
You're
doubling.
not necessarily working on the same thing. Yeah.
All right, well.
You're just kind of like working on stuff while in the room together, not necessarily talking to each other, just working on it. It is an accountability thing. Sometimes it helps with productivity, and a lot of people, like me included, feel like sometimes I don't have motivation until there's literally somebody physically in the room with me.
Sure.
And then I have the motivation to suddenly just to do stuff.
The only other thing I can kind of compare it to is kind of like if, let's say like Caitlin and I are hanging out on the couch, and suddenly she gets the urge to like tidy things up a little bit. I'm like, I can't just sit on the couch and do this.
Yes.
I have to get up and join you in cleaning. It's kind of like that, if George and I are doing art and the other person's just kind of sitting there, so I can't just sit here. I've got to make something.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
It's also cool too when you are working specifically on the exact same thing. Like when Emma and I were doing the Neil Patrick Harris thing, like she would be doing a thing with like setups and like some of the actual like game mechanics, while I'm on the complete opposite other end of the room doing like some of the, like script writing or whatever. We're both working on the same thing, but it's completely dead silent for like 2 hours until someone chimes in like, hey, so I did this. What do you think about this? And then you have not only real-time feedback, but also like we're working towards a shared goal, and your shared goal even can just be like bettering yourselves as artists. And that's pretty cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, even when we're just working on these projects that we're doing, sometimes I'm like, shit, the anatomy's weird. What do you think? And then we'll like look at each other's stuff, and yeah, it's a very important element for sure.
You'll be probably a little annoyed at me, George, but those. Do you remember the painting of the house on fire and the ghosts hanging on the clothesline I was working on?
Yeah.
They were sitting in the back of my car this whole time, and like I cleaned my car out the other day, and they were just like utterly destroyed.
Oh.
So much stuff had been piled up on top of them and like rolling around in the trunk of my car. They were just like shredded and covered in dirt, and
It's all right.
Awful.
I just threw them out the other day.
Awful.
That's all right. That lessens the blow of something that I thought I was going to have to reveal today. I was confident until right before we rolled that I lost the pack lunch shirt that you made. Dude,
How?
I was
Flame.
devastated all day today thinking about like I'm going to have to tell George that I lost this thing he made for me that was made a whole experience of in the revealing of. I just found it. And it was just in my laundry basket.
Well, how did you think you lost it though? You know how I just like the shirt just magically vanished from your apartment?
So we played a festival on Saturday in Detroit.
Oh.
And I was wearing that shirt with the expectation that I was going to wear it on stage. But then I saw that they had hired a photographer. And at the last show that we played, I was wearing the packed lunch shirt. And I was like, I should have a little bit of range in some of the photos that we have on our socials or our website or whatever. And so I bought this shirt, which is, if I can turn to the camera a little bit, this is No Vision's shirt.
You showed us a black.
I'm not showing you. I'm showing the people. You don't matter.
Fuck you.
Wow. All right. Well, I guess I'll leave.
Anyways, my buddy Andrew's band, No Vision, and I was like, I should wear their shirt up on stage. It's Andrew's event. He was part of Cat and Crew, which is putting on the event. And I set the packed lunch shirt by our merch bin, which is where my backpack was. And I literally, it was like today, last night, I was looking for the shirt. I was like, I cannot fucking find this thing. I guess I'll check in the morning because I was too tired, whatever, when I went to bed. I was like, I should be wearing that for this podcast. And I wake up this morning and I look in my closet and it's not there. It's not hung up. I'm like, it's like not hung up in there. But then I'm like digging through my closet trying to find it. Because I had just come over here to Emma's. I'm currently at Emma's to do laundry on Monday, maybe Tuesday. And I didn't do it in that load. So I was like, oh, it must be hanging up at Emma's or whatever. So when I got here, I was like, hey, so is my packed lunch shirt like hanging up here? She's like, no, I don't have any of your clothes anymore. Which was like the final nail in the coffin, because all day today I was thinking about how am I going to tell George that this very special thing that he made for me has art that I received a week ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. After all this like nonsense of trying to get it to me in the first place, which I hear was a very difficult process, I've already lost it.
Well, you know what you did just tell me is you told me that on 2 separate occasions my shirt gets bumped for a No Vision t-shirt. So thanks. I get it. I get it. Thanks. Thank you.
Yo, where's the love, man?
Thank you for watching the A.D.H.Deep-Dive. The show that's not about no, but I brought more laundry over to do today, and I realized that it was just at the bottom of my laundry basket. And I don't know why I didn't check my dirty clothes. I just did a load before, and it wasn't in that load, and I don't know. All is well.
I would have never let you live it down. Also, like the punishment of now you being the only one who now doesn't have a packed lunch t-shirt, it also would have been pretty funny. It would have been pretty funny.
No, that would have hurt a lot. That would have hurt. Is it worth even going through the process of how difficult that was to get here, or was that just kind of a thing?
It wasn't even that it was difficult. It was that for a while there, I was worried that it got lost in the mail. Like that was the difficult part, because it was supposed to arrive to you at a certain point, and it took like an additional like 2 weeks or something to actually get to you, and that's where I lost the tracking number. Like I lost the receipt with tracking number on it. Couldn't check out what the status was on it. And then finally Emma told me it arrived. But then literally after you received it, I found the fucking receipt with the tracking number.
Patrick,
So
are you familiar
it
with
was
how?
a happy ending. Happy endings all around.
Are you familiar with how I received this?
I was told, yeah, how it all came
Oh, are
to
you?
be.
Well, I'm gonna tell it anyway because
Yeah.
I've already teased it to the
Well,
audience.
Emma's the true star of this whole story.
Oh, no
Let's
question.
be real.
Yeah, I come over one day, and oh, good. Hello, I'm talking about you. I come over one day, and I open up the door, and it's pitch black in here, and very close to where I'm sitting now, just a little further back. Emma is facing the wall, and I hear like a little giggle, and I hear like I hear her giggling to herself, and I thought in this moment that she was setting up a scare, which is not something
that's been great.
she would do. And we are going to talk about the first time I met you guys in person, because I think we did that on the last time you were on, but that episode never aired. But I think it's worth it because that's kind of the vibes I was getting here.
Sounds like the setup for when you found our cutouts.
Yes, which we'll talk about that as well. But she's facing the wall. All I see is the back of her head, and then she slowly turns around in this chair that I'm in, which is it's a rotating chair, and she's got herself underlit. And I'm still not convinced that this is not meant to be a scare at this point. So I think I specifically said something along the lines of like please don't, or like, because I felt like I was about to be.
So you can still be scared.
Oh, I can be scared. I just don't believe in the things I was once afraid of.
That's not necessary anymore.
Yeah, no. You can still jump scare me. I'm very easily jump scared. It's the psychological side of it that's not as easy. Please don't test that theory.
Challenge accepted.
You really shouldn't be telling us this stuff, dude.
No, I know a lot more people now that could help me out with stuff
Great.
I would want
Excellent.
to do.
Cool. Great. Anyways, she is dressed in whatever, the blazer jacket, a suit with a white shirt underneath. I don't remember if she's wearing sunglasses. I think she's wearing an earpiece. Very Men in Black, and she's got this package in her hand, and it's like, listen, a lot of this was a blur, again, in fear that something was about to happen at any moment. But my basic memory of this was like, this package, should you choose to accept it, is yours. And then she says, does this sound mean anything to you? And she plays a sound through the speaker, and it's just George going, blah, 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 blah. Which to me was very clearly George, but it had nothing to do. I still don't even know why you made that noise.
I feel like that's like signature punchy noise.
Is it?
Yeah, I feel like anytime Punchy's about to just jump into something chaotic, it's always just like yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes a lot more sense, because I still, till this moment, was very confused about why that was the sound you chose. And I was like, that's George, which in that moment, I was like, is he here? I was like looking around the apartment.
That's the trauma from previously. That's the previous trauma coming through.
It so is. And then she hands me the package, turns the, whatever, for lack of a better phrase, house lights on, and then the Grand Theft Auto theme song starts to play on the big speaker.
Oh, this is very cinematic,
dude. It was so good.
I didn't know about any of this.
Yeah.
Emma like put the whole experience together.
Yeah.
Took it and ran with it. Like beautiful, like amazing choices.
You give Emma an immersive thing, she's like, you got it. Yeah.
I was like, I went to Emma, I'm like, she was telling me like some ideas, and I was like, you could literally just throw it at his head, and I'll be happy.
Yeah, I heard that was the preferred method.
that was one that was my idea.
Yeah,
that was what I would have done.
Yeah.
And you play like the Benny Hill theme in the background.
But no, and then I open up the package, and it's a flyer, or well, a poster with a scene from the comic book that George drew of our group, which we haven't really talked about in this episode. Like I said, it's fine to not do that. But we have a crew of friends in Grand Theft Auto who all wear bags on our heads called Packed Lunch. We've made comics out of it. We've made basically a D&D campaign out of it. We've now got shirts as well that George has made. Yeah, very much over delivered on what was meant to be. Just throw it at his head.
Yeah, Emma's the
The
true
only
star
thing
here.
The only thing that could have made it any better was if Emma was wearing a paper bag on her head.
Oh yeah, he also included a paper bag in the package.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So she definitely could have done that. But what is it? What is the impersonation? Whatever.
Oh yeah, I realize now that you and Nathan are the only ones who got paper bags because you're the only ones who actually sent it in the mail.
Yeah, I got it in person.
Well,
I threw it at his head.
but yeah, that
You
harks
definitely
back.
didn't like hand me a shirt nicely.
Did he throw it at your head?
No.
No.
That harks back to the two times that I suppose I met Patrick and George before I ever met Patrick and George. The first of which was, look, I've already talked about it on the podcast. I was married once. And in anticipation of the wedding, you know, people are sending gifts in and whatnot. And apparently Patrick and George had our, at the time, mutual friend Daniel get keys somehow to my house. I don't know how that was coordinated. I think you coordinated with my ex to be like, hey, somebody's going to drop something off at the house. Can they have your keys or whatever? But you didn't tell her specifically what it was. And then somebody gets into our house and drops off the package. And then one day I arrive home and I open up the door. And now, mind you, up until this point, I only know Patrick and George online. I see what they look like through social media. Sometimes we do video chats, but like I've never met them in person. And I open up the door and I see Patrick and George standing there. And for a good, what was too long of a period of time, thought they were standing in my living room. But I'm just like,
just completely motionless.
Yeah, I'm like, why aren't they moving? And I got big like Uncanny Valley vibes from it. And I come to discover that the thing that was dropped off was two life-size cardboard cutouts of the two of them. Patrick is pointing at his exposed belly button. George is got his hand in a fist and is pointing at the other hand. And on the belly button and in the closed fist were two gift cards as a gift for the wedding, which we then put on display at the wedding. So you guys were in attendance at the wedding. I even danced with you.
That was a pretty special moment that I'm really glad that all came together.
Yeah. It was beautiful.
Oh.
Not like the time I actually met you, which I would kind of prefer one of you guys to explain your part of the story. Maybe leave the name out, but just say your ex.
Yeah. Do you want to take this one, or do you want me to do it?
Go ahead, Pat.
Oh, well, you fill in anything I'm gonna forget, because I'm sure I will forget something. We planned a trip to meet Dave and his ex, in person finally after I forget how long of actually gaming together.
It was 2016 or 2017 that we officially met.
We've been gaming for what, like a year or two at that point?
I think I met you guys online in 2014.
Okay.
So let's call it 2 years after we met. Yeah.
So the plan was to arrive. The plan was to arrive earlier than Dave was expecting us, but we hit just a monumental amount of traffic on the way. And so instead of arriving, I don't know, what was it, like 10:30, 11 o'clock? We didn't get there until like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Now, mind you, I am hearing that they are showing up the next day because I am to be at work at, I think, I think that was when I was still working the morning shift. So I was supposed to work from 4 a.m. to noon or something like that. So I think that they're going to show up at like 3 p.m. the next day, such that you guys were actually taking videos.
Yeah, we were sending you fake photos of the other guy that was with us, like, laying down like he was asleep, or like sending pictures of things in New York like we were still
delayed.
there.
Yes, they were like, yeah.
And then I don't think we didn't really have a solid plan until we pulled up to your house.
Oh, I've heard a plan.
Well, we had a plan before, but the plan had to change because
talk about that plan, because that's disturbing.
Well, I had multiple ideas we ended up not going with, and I'm glad we didn't at the time.
One of them is wrong.
Wrong, but also hilarious.
Yeah, sure, great.
Yeah, I think we were told that there was a room in your house at that point that you didn't like going into because it was creepy and haunted.
It's all coming back.
That's actually the version I did not remember. So yes, go ahead. We had a crawl space in an attic. A crawl space.
So
in an attic.
A lot of these ideas to scare Dave were like over the top. Like we would have needed more time to even just. Wait, they weren't over the top?
No, I'm saying they were wrong.
Oh, they were wrong.
Yeah,
but funny. One plan was to go into this creepy room, and using blacklight paint, we were gonna paint like a very crude Ouija board on the walls and floor of this room. It's like a little crawl space off of like a guest room. And your ex was gonna say like, "Oh, the cat got in there. Could you please go in there?"
Which already would have been like, "No, I will not go in there. Like I'm not going."
But somehow, if she was able to convince you to go into that room, she was going to then close the door behind you, lock it, and then just say, "I'm sorry," and go silent. And then I think I was gonna flip a switch, turn a black light on to expose the crude drawings, and then George and I, like masked up, we're gonna come out and just grab you, and hold you.
I don't know why you called us bullies, dude. That's messed up.
Okay, I'm so glad that I led with saying the two biggest bullies I know.
That was
messed up of you to say that, dude.
Another plan, which
it's so fucked up. It's so fucked up.
I think at the time you did not like dolls, like creepy baby dolls. You hated them. I think at that.
The delay there sounded like it said you did not like balls.
That's what I heard.
You heard that too?
I don't know. Maybe you don't. Dolls.
Is he wrong? Like,
am I wrong?
Thank you for joining the A.D.H.Deep-Dive, the show.
You didn't like dolls.
Yeah, who likes dolls? Who likes dolls?
Well, I do.
Yeah, you like them because they're creepy.
Yeah, but that's still liking them. Anyway, the point was, so the idea was, that I think from what I remember at your old house, you walked in through the door and you were almost right at the kitchen. Right? Something like that, close to it.
There was like 3 different entrances to that house.
Right. Well, something was going to happen to kind of draw you towards the kitchen, whether it was like everything else, all the lights were off.
I didn't even remember this.
A light in the kitchen. And I was going to try, at the time I didn't know anybody who did electronics. I still don't do electronics, but I was going to have a baby doll planted on the floor with like a little servo in its head so that I could, out of sight, click a button and that baby's head would turn, 180 towards you. And then I know just saying it does sound like over the top.
Yeah. Okay.
Do
you see my perspective?
I was gonna have fishing line tied to a bunch of doors and cabinets in the kitchen, so that after the baby's head turned, I was gonna yank on the cord. We were all gonna fly open, and then we were gonna jump out and scare you.
I think it makes sense that this relationship didn't end up working out because she was so down for all of this. She's like, yeah, let's psychologically torture this guy.
There's a silver lining to some things.
No,
so much. It was pretty great.
Well, is it the one in the basement that you're thinking
That is the
of?
one that is pretty much the only one that I remembered. Now I remember that you had such other.
It's a very similar concept. Like the door was going to be locked behind you, the lights were going to shut off, and then we were going to pop out and grab you.
It's the grabbing.
I think that was like the baseline.
It's the grabbing my body that I can't believe is the thing that actually made it to the end. Like, no matter what we do, we're going to make David think he's being physically abducted.
The plan was, I think, that George was going to grab you and hold you, and then the other guy and myself were going to just kind of walk out and approach you.
Yeah, this is actually pretty funny to hear.
Obviously, we had to change the plan because we arrived like 4 or 5 hours late.
Well, I also hear that my consideration of whether to or to not wear pants that evening got in the way of some of the decision making as well.
Well, we didn't know that until after it had happened.
Yeah. Apparently,
I think after we had gone through the plan that actually, we went through with.
Well, let's
we
talk
found out after the fact that we're like.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Well, so we pull up to your house, and
now, mind you, I've got to be to
working
work
at
at 4 a.m.
Yes.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
And you guys arrive at
this is
2.
like I don't remember exactly. It was like 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning. We show up at your house, and at the time I was still working at a haunted house, so I had like masks in my car. So me, George, the other guy, all had masks, and your ex let us to the bedroom where you were still sleeping. And even at this point, we didn't know fully what we were going to do. We just kind of winged it. And George, myself, and the other guy kind of just oh, no, George, you crawled into bed.
No, I was just going to say, no.
Yeah.
You want to take it from there?
Yeah,
I crawled into bed.
And then I don't remember what happened exactly after that. I think we just shook the bed, and then you grabbed.
Well, no, George.
Dave, right?
George.
I was like grabbing him, and like I'm pretty sure I was just like cuddling you. Like I just like wrapped my arms around you like this. And you guys were doing. You guys were the one shaking the bed. I was just like this, like kind of spooning him.
Yeah. And then you woke up.
A recollection of what I was. A recollection of what I was told is that George. Now, again, mind you, very important note. I've never met these guys before. I've never officially met them. And so George is spooning me. I'm asleep. What I've heard is that you were caressing my face and being like, David. And I'm just responding with, And I hear that you guys were like laughing about it or whatever. And you finally decide like, it's time. We got to just wake him up. And so unless I'm remembering this incorrectly, I thought you guys pulled me out of the bed, or did you just pull everything off of me?
I think we wanted to. Like, what I wanted to do was grab your feet and yank you towards the end of the bed, but I think that was before George had started to cuddle you and like talk to you and like try like caressing your cheek. Yeah. And I was like, I can't do that now because I'm basically yanking him out of George's arms.
Yeah.
And how could you do such a thing?
And I wake up.
I think also part of it was like to grab the blanket, which I'm glad we didn't because apparently you were.
Yeah. Okay. So I was naked. Okay. I couldn't.
Well, you had a shirt. You had a shirt on.
Yeah. You weren't wearing anything.
I was Winnie the Poohing it. I had a shirt and no pants. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well.
Which that's a move. That's definitely a move. No judgments.
And I want to throw this out there too. The only reason, not the only reason, but the main reason why those other plans never came to fruition also was because
the timing.
Timing, and Daniel was also like, I asked him his thoughts on it, and he's like, don't do that.
Yeah, because I had someone in my life who was like, look, fuck with the guy, don't hurt him, like don't.
It was just like he's not going to appreciate a joke about the paranormal.
Yeah, I wouldn't appreciate it. I was large. I was drinking a lot. I did not have a good heart. You could have induced a heart attack. The worst options could have been horrific, and we might not be talking today.
Well, you're in better health now, and now we have something to strive for.
Great. Mm-hmm. Excellent.
Not to kill you, but to frighten you.
You know, I love very much that Emma would never allow that. She might allow you guys.
Think she would be. I
feel
like she'd be very much about this.
She might allow you guys to fuck with me, and I am giving carte blanche to let you guys fuck with me. I understand. That's just what's going to happen. I don't think that she would be down to be in cahoots. Yeah, she's even shaking her head no. I think when I told her this story before, she was like, oh, that's not okay. Because again, the worst versions of that story were, in my mind, unacceptable. Now, if I was doing it to someone else, fucking hilarious. Would have been awesome. So I get the appeal. Just at that time in my life with those particular fears that I had and belief structures, dude, man, could have been bad.
So you're saying that knowing us has been a challenge.
Knowing you has been a challenge.
Well, at least the concern for us on our end was there to at least make sure that your other friends in Michigan were like, "Is this a good idea?" And they were all like, "No." Like, okay, we won't do it.
That's so funny. That's so funny. But yeah, I guess to put
could have been worse.
To put a cap on that story, I awoke to three men in masks, in creepy looking masks, screaming at the top of their lungs.
We're wearing
I think
masks.
one of you was wearing a mask of me. I had a bandage mask on. Someone was wearing the me mask.
You know,
and then I think there was a second or third one rather.
The biggest tragedy of that whole story, which
was
makes
never recorded.
Yeah, it was never recorded. That makes it so like.
At that point, we were exhausted, and we're like, we need to do this before we lose our chance to. Like the idea of recording it didn't occur to us until you brought it up.
Yeah, that's nuts to me.
Also,
would you really want that video out there, though?
Definitely, yes, I would. At this point, 10 years later.
Fair enough.
Also, we made up for it the next time we came to visit. We did not scare the crap out of you. In fact, I believe you guys turned the table on me the following time we came to visit.
Oh, I have
when you guys hit me with noodle swords and poked my ass with it a couple times.
I have a video of me and Patrick bursting into George's room and sodomizing him with styrofoam swords.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So, like you guys were any better.
Yeah, but
like you were any better.
I'm pretty sure in the video we still got like very little reaction out of you. You just kind of like
he clenched his butt cheek
that is
in response. There's some butt cheek clench.
That is true.
Yeah. It was time for breakfast.
I was very tired. You
were holding us up from eating delicious crispy bacon.
Which, I mean, fair enough. All
right, well, I think I try to make these episodes a little bit shorter these days, so in anticipation of winding this thing down, I had originally come to Patrick and George and said, like, hey guys, I would like to have an episode with you two where we do like shower thoughts, like anything that you've just been like thinking of that's got your brain or whatever. And I fully expected neither of them to do their homework, so I was like, fuck it, I'll just come up with some stuff that we can talk about. There's still so many things on this list that we could talk about that maybe we'll reserve for another episode. There's some stuff that I messaged Patrick or George about beforehand that I was like wondering if we'd be allowed to talk about. Preemptively asked you if there was some stuff that we'd be able to talk about that have not yet been covered, so you guys are of course welcome back on the show. I'm just curious because Patrick actually did write a few down. With the knowledge that maybe we only have about 5 to 10 minutes left, can I get some of those? What'd you get?
They're not great because I did come with them absolutely last minute.
The moment
as I was sitting here right before we got on.
All right, so I was pretty much right that you didn't do your homework, but you turned it in at the last minute. You get a credit.
Well, also, this is obviously just an excuse, but there's some truth to it. Shower thoughts, I don't. It's almost like a fleeting thought. Like I have it in the shower, and then I almost kind of forget about it.
Sure.
But to try and like jot them down, didn't really come natural. So I had to like just come up with stuff.
Purely a creative exercise in just thoughts that have led nowhere.
I'll read the 4 questions I came up with.
Can we go one by one and see if there's anything we want to pause on?
Well, I feel like they'd all lead to lengthy conversations.
All right, we'll find out.
So, first one is if concrete proof of alien life or of the paranormal existed, would you want to know?
Oh, that would lead to a long conversation. And I think George and I have actually talked about this explicitly on a previous podcast. Yeah, I'd want to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
I don't think I'd want to know.
Why?
No?
Because there's as much good as there could come from knowing, there is equal amounts of bad that could come from.
Is this publicly disseminated knowledge or only you are now aware?
I think either way, if it's public, I think the amount of chaos it would cause would not necessarily be worth it in the immediate.
Would it cause chaos?
I think there's a high potential for it. At least maybe not necessarily for the paranormal, maybe more for proof of alien life.
I should have brought you on our aliens episode. I'm sorry, I didn't do that.
But also, are you saying aliens that can actually get here, or we just know that somewhere out there there's concrete proof that somewhere out there there's alien life?
I'm gonna say for the sake of this topic, like that they either have or can come to Earth.
You think that? But so you think it's better for them to just show up?
I mean, I guess so. I wouldn't want to be left with the knowledge that that these things are real, and then not like, and then be left with the responsibility of like, do I tell people? Do I try to get the word out there that this is real? That entire belief systems could be upended because of this information.
Good.
I mean, also, who's to say that anyone's going to believe you if you say that they're real?
That's what I'm saying. The idea that I now know this is beyond the shadow of a doubt
now
true,
that's worse.
And not be able to further prove it.
I think that's worse. Is you being the only one on Earth who knows that aliens exist? Right. That's worse. And maybe I wouldn't want that.
I'd still say yes. I
think so too, actually. Yeah. All right. What's your other shower thought?
wait, I do have one. Can I chime in?
Oh, you do have one.
I do have one. It's one that it's an old one. Okay. It's one that I liked so much I held on to for a long time. So they say that ants don't know that we exist because we are too big for ants to perceive us.
Okay.
So my question is, what is too big for us to perceive?
So you and I also talked about this a little bit on the aliens episode, and it's
did we?
Yeah, it's not so much. It's not so much that they don't know that we exist. It's more of the understanding of the dimension that we exist in. Like,
well, they run up against us. All they feel is an obstacle.
But they see an obstacle appear.
They don't bump into us and say that's a human, that's a giant living entity.
They don't.
They just go like this and say
their neck and look up. Right.
Well, even if they were able to like see us, they're not able to like actually like see us in our entirety. They just see us as a giant obstacle.
But what I'm saying is they can see us coming in and out as if like, if this is the ant, a foot appears and then it disappears. A foot appears and then it disappears. They don't know it's a foot.
I think that the way, but I also think that they don't actually see like we see. Like they rely on their feelers a lot,
pheromones and stuff like that.
So
they don't. Yeah.
What we
so they don't actually know that we are amongst them. They're just living out their lives.
I don't know. The idea that there is a living being out there in the universe somewhere that dwarfs us to the point where we can't perceive it is frightening. But that's the kind of alien shit. Like if I suddenly found out that there is a, like, I don't know, Earth-sized being out there that could just come in and literally just grip our planet and crush it, like that's nightmare fuel.
Well, we talked about on
our episode, pokes its head through into our dimension, and
it causes our atmosphere. It causes our atmosphere and our gravitational pull to be completely fucked by it just coming near our planet.
Yeah, it's like, what's going on down there? Well, also like what makes it even more horrifying to me is that they are actually their existence doesn't fuck anything up. They are already around.
They're already
us,
here,
but we just don't.
Right.
They're just they're on such a different level than us in any kind of dimension that we just cannot perceive them.
Well, right. I have, I don't know if you guys ever had this thought, especially as children, like, this kind of falls in line with the idea of like, if you're driving through like a wooded area and like your eyes start to play tricks on you, like shadows are jumping from tree to tree, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've on occasion, even still today, but it's more of like just a fun thought now, but of like seeing like a mountainscape, driving somewhere and like, oh, the kind of silhouette or shape of that mountain kind of looks like the silhouette of a creature or whatever. And then thinking like, how wild would it be if that thing just got up and started walking around?
Yeah.
Like, stuff like that. I can imagine,
but you're not talking like Mirage territory.
No, I'm thinking like
what if the?
Well, I guess As a kid, that might that's just a weird thought I had as a child.
I mean,
I never really thought it was a.
That paints.
I never thought it was a thing where the mountain would get up and then start like rambling towards me.
Yeah.
Like what you're actually perceiving is actually the thing that it looks like.
Yeah,
like it's not part of the mountain. It's actually like a giant wolf or something.
Like imagining that the horizon is an entity.
Yeah, like what we perceive as like a mountain range is actually like a slumbering creature.
Yeah. I like that. Wait, Patrick, did you listen to our aliens episode? I'm going to assume that the answer is no.
Yeah, you would be correct.
All right. Well, I'd be curious to hear. I think maybe we'll have to have both of you back, especially because even since
I told
that
you these were lengthy. These are going to all be lengthy questions.
That's fine. But you got a few more. I have a timer on my screen right now that says 120. We're gonna hit the 130 mark, and then that's when we dip out.
Okay. Well, my second question. This is a GTA question.
Okay.
Would you have the patience to walk, not run or drive or cycle or use any kind of vehicle other than your own 2 feet, walk around and through every road in the entire GTA 5 map?
Me or my character?
Well, you are the character. You're playing GTA 5.
Can I talk to you guys while I'm doing
I totally would.
So you would, Dave. You said no.
Can I talk to you? Can I talk to you guys while I'm doing it, or do I have to do it silently as a solo excursion?
Yeah, let's just say for shits and giggles, we're online together, but
Yeah,
you
why
have
not?
to walk the whole thing.
So much of our
This is
playing
actually-
Grand Theft Auto was just like driving around doing nothing, and also there's a guy who just did this like on a treadmill. Did you see that video?
Oh, he's using a treadmill to like be a controller. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
his whole thing was walking across the map. I'm talking about going
Walking around San Andreas.
like every
every
single
street?
road, every side street, every
Oh, you
path.
don't mean
like,
just
you
walking
see
around the
there's a
island.
footpath. No, I'm talking about every single
Consecutively?
path in one sitting.
Well, then no.
I'd give it a shot. Why
Can I?
not?
Can I?
I think you and I, George, tried to just walk.
We try to do the across the map thing.
Yeah, and it took. I don't even think we completed it. It took forever.
Can I eat and
It did,
drink
it did.
and use the bathroom?
Yeah, sure.
That sounds like a
think
Mr.
it would
Beast
take-
video.
I think it would take hours and hours to pull that off.
Oh, it certainly would.
And for sure, you would definitely miss stuff.
Definitely.
I'd give it a shot. That sounds dope. That's fun.
This is again just if I find a justification for it, like if I get content out of it that I know people are gonna watch, I'm more likely to do it. If it's just like a let's see if I can do it, I don't know. That's a tough ask.
Yeah, there's no real payoff to doing it.
Yeah.
It's just to say that you did do it.
Yeah. What else you got?
My third question is: how much do you think knowing each other has affected our lives, and would it be drastically different if we didn't?
Oh, that actually that kind of touched my heart a little bit.
That's probably the only like real like not silly question.
I mean, the answer is definitely like it would be drastically different if we didn't know each other. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know in what ways. I mean, not like in the like the long term, but there are definitely parts of my life that would not have happened or exist had it not been for knowing you guys.
I'm actually trying not to cry right now because I'm thinking of so much of my life since meeting you guys in Grand Theft Auto, like, is a direct result of our friendship. That like, even just put the creative stuff aside, like, I made the most monumental life change that I still like. It was such a short period of time, but I identify as like the defining moment of my life is that short period of time that I lived in New York. That I never would have gone out to New York if I didn't know you guys, because the reason I justified going to New York was I have friends out there. And there's a lot of courage that came from like the creative stuff that we did. That like influenced a lot of the way that like I'm into new forms of art. Like I've had some of the heaviest nights of my life talking to George on the phone for like 6 hours about very difficult times of my life. A lot of I would be missing a lot of joy. Let's start with that.
Oh, stop.
No, I mean, look, if only
Not bad for a couple of bullies. Huh?
If only for 30 seconds in this podcast, I get to tell you guys how much you mean to me. It's unquantifiable. So the fact that you even ask that is like very difficult to imagine because I literally cannot imagine my life without you guys.
Oh man,
why did you do that? Why did you do that?
It's mutual. What,
Pat? You big sap.
I didn't realize it was going to turn into. But I mean, it's very lovely, and I feel the same. But yeah, I was like, oh, this is fun. This is going to be a fun question.
I cannot imagine what the fourth question is.
It's not.
How do you think you're going to die?
There's a fifth one that I didn't actually write down. I'll do that one last. I'll do this one, the one I actually wrote down next. It was what's a pipe dream project that you wish you could do right now?
I actually wrote
no questions asked. Budget's not a question. It's just you have everything you need to do it right now.
Easy answer. George's movie. I wrote that down. Literally, I wrote, when we gonna make this fucking movie?
Damn. I have not.
That's all I think about.
I've not considered Dan's Cabin in a bit.
I think about it all the time.
I'm still so down.
George wrote a script to the uninitiated. George wrote a script for a film called Dan's Cabin, which for months I thought
not Dan's Cabin.
For months I thought he said was Dance Cabin, and I was like, "What is
which
this movie about?
I will be changing the main character's name. It will not be Dan's Cabin anymore. Okay. But I still think if we did call it Dan's Cabin, we should have a special feature that was just called Dance Cabin, and then that's just like
it should be like a book or a VHS tape or something like sitting on a shelf in the background or something.
No budget, no time restraint, no whatever. If I could do one project right now in this moment, it would be to make the movie that George wrote.
Hell yeah. I'm going to piggyback on that and say that's the same thing for me.
Cool.
I'm going to be weird. It's not going to be that for me.
Get out.
I would still love to do it. I
if
think the creature in that movie has gone through many iterations.
Dude,
I still don't think there is a finalized design.
No, but I remember you making this creature walking around on the stilts with this fucking like what was it? Not the deer skull. Oh, maybe the deer skull, but what was it called?
The original.
Well, here we don't want to spoil it, I guess, but like.
Well, yeah, there was a concept that had like a very tall creature with horns and gangly fingers, and then I think for ease of filming and being able to actually just film it, I think a compromise that I talked to George about was like, not altering the character's presence, but changing the complexity of building the creature so that we could do this with such a small crew.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of being this giant creature, it was going to be a more humanized version of the character with still like horrifying features, but not like long giant limbs and 8 feet
I do
tall
think that
or whatever.
At some point in the conversation we were like, oh, it does like change forms at certain parts, and sometimes it just maybe looks bigger than it actually is, and by the end of it does have to be kind of a humanoid anyway for the story. But
right.
But yeah, that would be a fun time. Anyway, what is your answer, Patrick?
I think it's my big robot project. The idea being
big project
that I
or
would
big
build...
robot.
Both.
It's both.
Okay.
So the idea would be to basically build a giant robot. Let's just say like in total, when assembled, like 20 feet tall. Break it down into like component parts, like the head, torso, legs, maybe even down to like hands and feet, and then spread those parts like across the country. Like I guess ideally, if this is like a perfect type setting, across the world. And this is done hopefully in secret. As few people as possible would know that this is being done.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just going to be abandoned.
It's a good thing you're keeping it tight to your chest.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't. This is not.
I told him tens of people are listening to this podcast. So
I don't think this is even going to be an actual possibility. But
not with that
each piece would just be left and abandoned wherever they're planted, and each piece also has coordinates that would lead them to the next piece, and to the next piece until the whole robot has been found and reassembled.
Are you geocaching a robot?
It's kind of like geocaching, yeah. The idea also being that it would be built out of materials that would degrade over time but not completely fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say like the head is found 2 years from now, while like the arms are not found until 10 years from now. Like I could be dead by the time this thing is fully found and assembled. Yeah, that's something cool that I've always wanted to do.
That's pretty sick. Well,
Yeah.
according
also Dan's cabin.
Yeah,
so,
well, whatever.
but-
You blew your shot. According to my timer here,
I'm sorry for being honest.
I mean, we can go a little itty bitty tiny bit longer. But we're at 129. What was your last point?
My very last question was that if you could switch places with anyone, right now, like, who would you be and what would you do as that person for like 24 hours?
Do I have to have an answer to this?
And that's the idea of the question.
Like, I can't just be like, I can't be like, actually, I've decided.
I guess theoretically, no. Like,
I don't want.
I mean, yeah, you could just say, I don't want to be either of you.
I already have an identity crisis. And now I'm somebody else.
I mean, it's just for funsies. Like, if you were to inhabit George's body for a day, what would you do as George?
Oh God.
Oh no.
You'd have 24 hours to do whatever you want.
Let's rephrase it then. Well, I'm going to take your hypothetical and put it. If you were George for 24 hours, what would you do?
Why me?
Because Patrick lobbed it up.
I already am me for 24 hours every day.
All right, well, you can be out of body. Patrick, what do you...
What am I doing as...
If you could be George
I thought of the question. I never really thought of my answer for the question.
Okay, all
right. I don't know. I part of me would be afraid to do certain things or anything really, just for the sake of like not. That's the second, like the 24 hours is up, and then George re-inhabits his body, and then he's like, "What the fuck happened?"
Yeah, but that's awesome.
What is this? What is this mess that I
have to have it to Freaky Friday George and have to have him suffer the consequences of the things I've done, knowing full well I'm not going to do anything to put him in like legal harm, or I'm not going to physically injure his body. I'm just going to really make life difficult or embarrassing for a little while. That's awesome.
This might be a cheesy answer.
Jesus
but it's the only
Christ.
one I can come up with immediately. Is through my job I've gotten to know and like connect with people in the the art world, whether it's film or writing. I'd be like, as George, try to get in contact with these people so that by the time George re-inhabits his body, he now has these contacts and these outlets for
I vote Patrick. I vote Patrick. Okay. I got David over here being like, I'm gonna be shit out of him. I got Patrick over here being like, I'm gonna help him network.
This is a defensive strategy.
I do have one. I do have one though. I will, as George, eat a pickle.
Does George not like
You'll
pickles?
force my body to eat a pickle? I fucking hate pickles. It's the worst.
You'd have to do that at the 23rd hour. You'd have to do that.
I think I would just do it for the sheer shock value of your family seeing you eat a pickle. Like go back to the mothership and like have your mom
just be digging into like a jar of pickles.
But George doesn't suffer the consequences of that. If you do that at the 23rd hour on the 59th minute at the 59th second, you bite the pickle.
Bully now,
and then
dude?
He wakes up again. This is the defensive strategy. All right.
Oh, he comes to with the taste of pickles in
his mouth. Genius. See, it doesn't.
Right.
You know what? I don't think that's going to work the way you guys think it works, because you guys have my body, and my body is going to react to pickles the way my body reacts to pickles, and you might come away hating pickles after.
But your body only reacts that way to pickles because it's your brain in your body. I'm inhabiting your body.
So, but where's my brain then? If you're inhabiting my body, my brain's part of my body.
You're just in like a ethereal slumber somewhere until you get to re-inhabit your body.
My brain pops out? You think my brain telekinetically pops out?
Our consciousness.
If my taste doesn't come from my consciousness.
I would at least attempt it. God willing, whatever the consequences are of me putting a pickle in your mouth that's
still the less worse thing. You were like, I'm just gonna put a pickle in your body. Mund over here is like, I'm gonna make it so he wakes up with a pickle in his mouth, and he's gonna be embarrassed, and I'm gonna do something he's gonna be embarrassed. You think that's
worse than anything you've ever done to me?
With a pickle, I don't know what it was you would do. You said like have pickle taste, and then do something where I'm embarrassing George. I don't know what that other thing is.
I don't know.
Yeah. Also, like you literally sodomized me with a pool noodle, so
You're right. I got my vengeance 10 years ago. And with that,
what a guy!
You
what
guys
a fucking guy! We just leave at that. I'm like, oh hey, what about? Oh, what would George do if he inhabited your fucking bodies?
So Pat, when's this?
I'd love to know.
When's this art fair? What are you doing? You got this event that you're going to?
The art fair is all about bringing George
pieces
to
of
the
work.
fair and finding out what he would do with our body.
So when's this art fair?
I'd wing it. But I would also, I would somehow make your life, Patrick, somehow better. Put you into contact with some cool art people that I know, and then eat some crack that you don't like, David, and then I don't know, go adopt a seagull or something.
Okay, that's a deep cut, and that's unacceptable. All right.
That's a deep cut.
Patrick, do you want to plug this fucking art fair, or am I kicking us off the podcast?
I'd be plugging an art fair that I don't even know the location of. I just know it's in Deer Park on the 18th of.
All right, you can find what Patrick's up to on Instagram at pat_make_things, or is that makes?
I think my Discord is just I forgot to put the S in there. It is makes.
Instagram is at pat_makes_things. You can find George on Instagram at @thebigbadgeorge. I may hopefully remember to link our old YouTube channel where there are a bunch of clips where we mostly uploaded clips of us playing Grand Theft Auto. Some of those are just like funny things that happened there. Some of those were like bits of conversations where we had shower thoughts like, can you
If any
poop the
if
size
any
of
of
an
your
apple?
tens of followers and viewers want to check out our biggest hits, it would be like where's the train?
Where's the train? I too am hopping out.
Yeah, I too, the classic.
Yep. I think some of the top
You
videos on there.
yelling at Elpida for giving you bad directions.
That's a great one. Yeah, just watch the channel trailer to get a feel for what that is, because I think it might have even been for George's birthday or something like that. I just made a super cut of some of my favorite moments in Pack Lunch history.
Yeah, I think you and Nathan both made compilations.
Yeah. Well, I gotta get us out of here, guys. So you guys go ahead and hang out on the line. To the listeners, thank you so much for joining the ADH Deep Dive, the show that's not about ADHD, but is filled with proof it exists. Keep an eye out for Midwest Guys. We've got a whole weekender that we're trying to put together that for whatever reason keeps falling apart, but definitely we're playing Bowling Green, Ohio on September 20th at the Bridge, and then we're playing a house show in Cadillac, and then keep your eyes peeled for more announcements about December 12th, where we'll be headlining the Pyramid Scheme, where George is currently working on the flyer for. All right. Go to MidwestGuysRock.com. Be sure to go to Cat and Crew. That's KATANDCREW.com. Enter the promo code Monday. That's MUNDAY for 10% off your first purchase. Guys, hang out on the line. I love you very much. I'll see you next time.
Save the seagulls.
What the fuck was that?